desarrollando ciencia y tecnología a bordo de la Estación Espacial Internacional.
Emily's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Watching a chance of severe weather this weekend. Find out when it could hit. And another controversy for public education in Oklahoma. We'll tell you what's making some people upset. Plus, you'll want to meet our pet of the week. See who you could add to your family. This is Nightly at 4. Cold air has settled into central Oklahoma, but big changes are on the way. Good evening, I'm Carolyn Felling.
And I'm Emily Faith. We will get straight over to OU Nightly meteorologist Josh Duncan. He has the first look at the forecast. Josh?
Yeah, this Arctic blast is still hanging around our state with temperatures at or below freezing at this hour for areas near and northwest of the Oklahoma City metro. It's 32 in Norman, 29 in OKC, and we've been watching today very closely for the development of some drizzle and some freezing drizzle. It hasn't really happened, but some signs on radar of the atmosphere trying to moisten up. So we're going to still be watching this evening for the chance of a little bit of moisture to develop. There should not be any significant impacts to travel here throughout the rest of the evening. So temperatures holding fairly steady right around freezing. You're going to want to bundle up. The winds becoming lighter out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. There is good news in our forecast. Warmer weather is on the way over the next couple of days before a chance of severe weather moves in for the second half of the weekend. We'll detail the timing and the risks coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. New at 4, State Superintendent Ryan Walters says he wants to create a faith-based commission.
OU Nightly's Dakota McDowell Wapakichi joins us live from the newsroom. Dakota.
Carolyn, Emily, yes, State Superintendent Ryan Walters is creating a new commission. The faith-based commission will aim to protect the rights for students in Oklahoma public schools to practice their faith. Norman Representative Jacob Rosecrans says prayer and other religious doings could be done during the moment of silence and that this is not an issue to focus on.
So I think this is once again one of those deals where it's like trying to find a problem so you can say that it's happening and then make a big deal out of it with your hand-picked state school board to say it is happening, to then go back in and be like to your base that believes the lies, well, we're doing something about this, so don't forget to vote for me for my next election.
The next State Board of Education meeting is March 23rd.
Thanks, Dakota. Students from Norman Public Schools interested in aviation have the opportunity to start their education early, and now there's a new aviation facility on the way. OU Nightly's Catherine Liberta spoke to students and teachers about the program.
At Max Westheimer Airport, located in the heart of Norman, a new generation of aviation is taking flight, not in planes, but in the classroom.
We have an Airbus, which is waiting to take off, but they're going to be going the wrong way on the runway now.
It's hands-on activities like these that make the Oklahoma Aviation Academy stand out.
We had about 30 or 40 different activities in a year. So we do quite a few on a regular basis, probably a week, every other week we do an activity.
Students in the program love the first-hand experience.
It's new and hands-on. We don't really get to do anything like this.
We do a lot of projects and we go to a lot of field trips, and like last month we went on like 3 field trips.
And the program allows students to get a head start on their aviation career.
I get college credits, and then they're also leading me in the path to starting my ground school, which I've already started.
The building behind me, where the program is currently located, is too small, but the new Norman Bond is dedicating a big sum to building a new home for these students.
There's just no room for us here. I think with the new building is going to be really good. I mean, we have a wind tunnel that we get to borrow. We just don't have room for doing that. We have a lot of projects that we want to do. There's just not enough room for doing it.
The program currently has 96 students, and they are expected to double in size next year. The new building will not only house high school students, but also college students from the OU School of Aviation. Officials say they are still working to finalize the project's timeline, but the sky's the limit for this group of students. Catherine Liberta, OU Nightly.
The Academy expects to break ground next fall and hopes to get their current freshmen in the new building by their junior or senior year.
Now at 4, a grim milestone has been reached in Russia's war against Ukraine. CNN's John Lornick reports.
Today marks 1 year since Russia began its unprovoked offensive on Ukraine.
In the east, it's very difficult, painful, but we are doing everything to withstand it. As for the south, in some places the situation is quite dangerous, but our troops have the means to respond to the occupiers.
The U.S. has been lending assistance to the Ukrainian resistance since the war began.
We're going to continue to look at what is necessary and make sure that we provide what is necessary, that Ukraine has what it needs to succeed on the battlefield, so it is in the best possible position to secure its sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Symbols of support for Ukraine are also seen across the Atlantic, where some European landmarks, including the European Parliament in Brussels, are lit up in the colors of the Ukrainian flag.
I want people to unite among us and to unite and basically to fight back this atrocity which Russia is doing to us.
On Thursday, the UN General Assembly approved a resolution that condemns the Russian invasion, calling for a withdrawal of Moscow's troops, with 141 votes in favor, 7 against, and 32 abstentions. China, among the abstentions, released a 12-point document on Friday that calls for ending the war and resumptions of peace talks.
It's much bigger than Ukraine. This war is actually changing the way we as Europe function and maybe the world functions.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
In an interview with CNN Thursday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says Russia's war in Ukraine will likely end, quote, with some sort of negotiation.
Coming up on Nightly at 4, a club on campus is promoting the importance of mental health.
Find out how on this week's Sooner Spotlight.
Plus, another campus organization is recycling old books to support the community.
We'll tell you how you can help next on OU Nightly at 4.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go.
Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
If you found old books while spring cleaning but don't want to throw them away, you can find them a new home in the hands of someone who needs them.
That's right. Going until Friday of next week, the Student Government Association, Undergraduate Student Congress, and the OU Food Pantry are holding a book drive to help combat and raise awareness about educational inequality in adults and children.
In my committee, I focused on raising awareness through drives in different areas. And I think in this sense, we are bringing awareness to educational inequality because not everybody has equal opportunity to have resources to things such as books.
Donation bins can be found in Walker Tower, the Union, and the Conoco Student Leadership Center.
On this week's edition of Sooner Spotlight, OU Nightly's Stone Weber visited the Black Men's Mental Health Club to learn more.
The Black Men's Mental Health Club held its second meeting of the semester last night with Our Voice, another mental health organization on campus. The panel featured Dr. Rodney Bates, as well as members from Our Voice. To President Andrew Reddick, this group has one goal in mind.
Our goal is to increase awareness and erase stigmas. There's a lot of stigmas associated with black men through generations, and we want to be able to eliminate those and erase those by providing a sense of community, a sense of brotherhood, if you will, as well as providing resources for individuals.
That stigma is a serious problem. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 63% of black people believe that a mental health condition is a sign of weakness. Founder Kiara Bogan says this organization is a safe space.
My goal through starting this organization was to bring a safe space to all of the black men on campus, because as a woman we have Getting to the Root, which is like our sister organization, but they didn't really have anything like that, so I wanted them to have the same options and ideas that we have.
For some people, like Kylan McClish, the importance of mental health hits close to home.
So mental health means everything to me. Growing up, I lost my childhood best friend to mental health, and it was typically hard for me. And one of the promises I made for myself and I made to her is that I will never quit, I will never back down.
In addition to the Black Men's Mental Health Club and Our Voice, OU Advocates and Goddard Health Center are also resources available for students on campus. Stone Weber, OU Nightly.
The organization says its next event will be a game night next Thursday at the Jim Thorpe Multicultural Center.
Up next on Nightly at 4, a furry feline with ambition to reach great heights and relax.
Stick around to meet this week's Pet of the Week, looking for a forever home. Emily, changes are on the way with the weather.
That's right, Carolyn. OU meteorologist Josh Duncan joins us with what he'll be talking about after the break. Josh?
Yeah, we're tracking an enhanced risk of severe weather for Sunday. We'll take a look at the timing of the storms on Futurecast coming up after the break.
To Sophia and Gabriel, even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
Welcome back. The moment you've all been waiting for is here. Our furry friend is a feline this week, and she is a cutie.
This is Jelly Roll. She's been with us for a few months now, and she came to us from a situation where her owner went into assisted living and couldn't keep her anymore. She's pretty much a relaxer. She finds the highest spot she can in the cat room, and she will make herself a bed there, and then if there's something interesting going on, she'll come down to see what's happening.
If you or someone you know is interested in Jelly Roll, visit Second Chance Animal Sanctuary at their website, www.secondchancenorman.com. It is never too late to help an animal in need. And the Oklahoma Aquarium in Jenks is preparing for its largest fundraiser of the year. The annual event, Splash, raises money to allow students to attend the aquarium for free. The event will take place tomorrow evening. It'll bring together craft beer breweries and top local chefs to create a unique experience for guests. Organizers say the fundraiser will include raffles, a silent auction, and a wine and whiskey pull. If you want to attend the event, general admission and VIP tickets are still available on the aquarium's website. Guests must be 21 and older to attend.
Good afternoon. Taking a live look outside right here by Gaylord Hall. You can see we have a cloudy sky. Our temperature in Norman is 32 degrees, so it is freezing right now. And we're watching closely for the chance of a little bit of drizzle this evening, but no significant precipitation expected. And then overnight tonight, temperatures are actually not going to fall off too much. Our low 31 in Norman, and then after midnight, our temperatures are actually going to start to rise just a little bit by the time you step out of the door tomorrow morning. And then for your Saturday, it will be warmer than the past couple of days have been. Highs in the mid to upper 40s with a very slight chance of a passing shower throughout the day, but most places will be dry to start the weekend on Saturday. So here's a look at Futurecast. Again, notice just a few spits and sprinkles possible of some light drizzle or freezing drizzle. No major impacts expected overnight tonight. And then taking a look at the day tomorrow, notice all the widespread cloud cover across our state. And again, just a slight chance for a few showers, especially across northeastern parts of Oklahoma coming up on Saturday. Then our attention turns to Sunday. Notice the winds on Sunday coming out of the south, gusting up to 25 or 30 miles per hour as we get into the afternoon. That's going to start to bring in some much warmer air for Sunday. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s for many areas. So it is going to be feeling like spring coming up for the second half of the weekend. And the south winds also going to be bringing in more moisture here from the Gulf of Mexico late Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. That is what's going to set the stage for some storm energy to develop. Notice here the highest storm energy Sunday evening across western Oklahoma. So we are expecting some thunderstorms to develop as we get into late Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening. Here's how it looks on Futurecast. There is a slight chance of a passing shower Sunday morning, but there will not be severe weather during the morning hours. Then as we get into the afternoon, there could start to be a few breaks in the clouds that'll help heat up the ground and fuel these thunderstorms. Notice by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when we can start to see our first signs of storms developing in far western Oklahoma, parts of the eastern Texas panhandle. And as soon as they develop, they're going to start moving quickly. They're going to race to the east, arriving in the OKC metro by around 8 or 9 o'clock. And then they're going to be in Tulsa within an hour after that. So these storms are going to be booking across the state with a risk of severe weather. By midnight, most of the activity is shifting out into Arkansas. So again, the risk of severe weather, a level 3 out of 5 on our scale from southwestern through central Oklahoma. And here are the threats that we're expecting for the Sunday storms. The highest risk is for wind gusts that could be 60 to 70 miles per hour. There's also a chance of a few spin-up tornadoes, likely going to be weak and brief, but we'll have to keep an eye on that closely, and also a chance for some hail that should be around the size of quarters. So in preparation for Sunday's event, you just want to make sure, because this is the first significant severe weather event of 2023, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings and have a plan in place just in case a severe storm approaches your area. Your 7-day forecast shows some warmer weather on the way after the storms move out on Sunday. We've got a couple of nice days coming up early next week with highs in the low 70s, and then only slightly cooler for the end of the week coming up for Thursday and Friday, highs in the 50s. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
OU's Hudson College of Public Health has a new dean. Dr. Dale Bratzler is now the dean of the college. Dr. Bratzler is a professor at both the College of Public Health and College of Medicine. He has acted as OU's chief COVID-19 officer since June 2020, and he serves as a state and national expert on COVID-19. He has been and will continue to play an integral role in OU's health and safety.
Well, all right, it's Friday, guys, and you know what that means. The best videos of the week. Here to tell us more about those are Paris Condros.
Thanks, ladies. For our first Caught on Camera video, we have a real heartwarming one. The basketball star James Harden shared a video chat he had on Wednesday with a Michigan State University shooting survivor, John Howe. John became critically injured after a bullet hit his spinal cord, which left him paralyzed. The video showcases Harden giving words of encouragement and some game-worn sneakers to the student. Family of John say Harden is his favorite player as he is studying sports management at MSU. All right, our next one is a bit scary. This one comes out of Alaska. Tracy Hansen was out late Thursday night when her routine walk took a drastic turn as she ended up being trampled by a moose. A passerby, Kate Timmons, says she saw the whole thing and captured it on camera while on her way to help Tracy. Tracy is still recovering with some bruising and staples in her head, but their paths crossing at just the right time might have saved Tracy's life. And our last video is one that really makes a splash. Petunia, a precious 2-month-old pygmy hippo, is now able to swim with her mom at the Metro Richmond Zoo in Virginia. Petunia is already such a happy hippo as she has started learning how to swim. The zookeepers describe the sweet hippo as spunky, confident, and brave. The hippo can be seen splashing around the water as she leads the way with her mother, Iris, right by her side. And that wraps up our videos for this week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Paris. A cat missing for 9 years in Virginia has been reunited with her owner. The owner says she spent years looking for Piper after she escaped.
The Henrico County animal officials got a call on Tuesday about a stray cat that refused to leave their porch. The cat was taken to a shelter where rescuers found her microchip. After doing some digging, they were able to reach the owner and reunite the two. And a 12-year-old boy from Rhode Island is making a difference in his community, but it wasn't easy. AJ Sylvia spent years growing out his hair to donate to children with cancer.
He donated 12 inches while in elementary school and had high hopes to continue through middle school. But his positive mission turned into the worst after 2 years of torment and bullying. But with the support from his mom and one barbershop, AJ inspired others to join the initiative.
Thanks for watching Nightly at 4.
Our OU Nightly meteorologists are keeping an eye on this weather for this weekend, and we will have the latest on OU Nightly. Next on OU Nightly.
Likely locations are, and the way you do that is actually talking to people like Alfonso, and they'll say, go here, this is cool, we should look at that. Then when it comes to programming the robot, there's a lot involved, from just basic things like getting the robot to physically move in the environment, and then making smarter decisions, and that's really, again, about taking sensor data and then trying to say, yes, this is something valuable. And traditionally, we've, again, consulted with scientists and try to say, well, things that look like this is good, things like that look different, we ignore. It's a very involved process.
Takes a village.
Yeah, it does.
Or two.
Yeah.
Nice.
A village or two.
Mhm.
Nice. It's always exciting to see the scientists and engineers really working their magic together.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I like these projects.
Yeah.
Well, here's an easy one from JB the Dev. How do you boil down, is it life, to a quantitative value?
Oh, yeah, easy.
Easy.
I'll let Michael take this one.
Yeah, so basically, right now, we can't say, if this, then life. And perhaps the best way to do it is to try and extract the judgment of the scientists by studying how they behave. And so machine learning techniques are kind of a promising approach for that. So eventually, I'll just sit and watch Alfonso long enough, and I'll write down everything he does, and I'll run it through a small Python script, and then I'll ship that out into space.
That's right.
Yeah.
That easy. And my job is done.
Yeah. But it's not that simple. I mean, it's a very involved process.
It is. And if you think of the end members are easy. Something waving at you, yes. And something like a meteorite, that there's nothing in there, easy. The problems are all the gray in-betweens. That's the difficult part. That's,
But that's also what drives you guys, I'm sure.
Exactly. That's the passion, yeah.
And I guess something else to say is that it's not one thing. It's an accumulation of evidence from different observations that we eventually collect to build confidence that we've seen something that might be life.
Yeah, good point. It's not
Not
going to be
just looking for one silver bullet. It's got to be.
Science, rarely you get a silver bullet. You get a lot of smoking guns, a lot of smoke and no guns, some guns without smoke, but no silver bullets.
You're too demanding, Alfonso.
I
think we have time for a couple more before we move on. Do you have one lined up? Or I got one. G Nintendo asks, what amino acids, if any, have been detected on Mars?
None so far.
None so far.
Isn't
The potential for severe weather Sunday. Our weather experts tell you what time storms could hit Norman. Students raise concerns about a bill that might bring guns on campus. And hear what President Biden's wife says about her husband's re-election plans. This is OU Nightly.
For watching OU Nightly, I'm Pepper Papura.
And I'm Morgan Martin. We begin tonight with the bitter cold and a big change on the way.
OU Nightly weather expert Peyton Gallion has taken a first look at the forecast. Peyton?
That is right. Looking at the live radar right now, you can see up in northern Oklahoma, north of Tulsa, they do have some freezing rain falling from the sky, but here in the Oklahoma City metro, there is nothing. So we did have that concern earlier this morning. We might have that concern later on tonight, but that is not as big of a deal as what's coming up later this weekend. You can see we are 9 degrees colder than we were this time yesterday, and we are barely at that freezing mark, 32 degrees, 30 in Oklahoma City, a little bit warmer down in the southern Red River and in eastern Oklahoma. But coming up, I'm going to talk about that slow warm up we have the next few days, the thunderstorm chances on Sunday, and that severe weather risk.
Thanks, Peyton. With the threat of severe weather chances this Sunday, OU students need to be weather aware. OU Nightly's Madeline Hunter spoke to emergency management officers to see how students can be prepared on or off campus.
With the first round of severe weather rolling in this weekend, students must be prepared to take caution ahead of this season. I spoke with Emergency Management Coordinator David Grizzle, who spoke about the importance of staying weather aware and keeping yourself updated.
They're on campus over the weekend. They need to check with the OU Emergency Management. They have a plan for what shelters are available to the students and where those shelters are.
You can find on-campus shelters such as the Walker and Couch dorms and the Bazell Memorial Library.
Individual responsibility, stay aware of the situation, make that decision what you're going to do early.
The most dangerous place to be is in a car during a severe flooding situation.
The worst thing that you can do is be in the middle of a severe weather situation and leave a shelter to go to a shelter.
Again, it's very important for students to stay updated and check the Norman Emergency Management website for the best way for you to stay safe. Reporting from Norman, Madeline Hunter, OU Nightly.
Students can follow at OU Emergency Prep on Twitter for updates. Also, check to make sure emergency alerts are enabled on your phone.
Carrying firearms on a university campus could become legal if legislation in the Oklahoma Senate passes. OU Nightly's Kaylee Fan talked to a member of the University of Oklahoma Student Congress about how these bills could impact campus safety.
Among the many topics at the state capitol is gun control. Namely, OKSB 820 and OKSB 664 want to change the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act, which states guns are prohibited on school grounds unless stated otherwise by the university president. These bills want to change it to where anyone with a gun license may carry on campus unless they have been involved in a violent incident prior. OU Congress External Affairs Committee Chair Wesley Griffin says he talked with legislators who assure him these will not pass. However, he was concerned they were presented in the first place.
The fact that these legislators feel that they can kind of play fast and loose with our safety in order to gain favor, because if these bills were to go through, or if they got enough traction, obviously it's going to create a situation on campus where many students are going to feel unsafe. We've seen what's happened around the US recently. Many students can just fear for their lives, maybe not even want to come to class anymore because they just don't feel safe anymore.
Griffin and OU Congress Chair Abby Halsey-Krause were recommended to create a bill on behalf of the university's Student Government Association, recommending to legislators that current gun laws shouldn't be changed, and the university agrees. In a message to OU Nightly following the shooting incident at Michigan State University earlier in February, an OU spokesperson wrote, "The university is committed to creating a safe environment, and that it believes the current law is effective as it stands." However, Griffin says students are still, and should still, be alert.
Safety is one of the biggest issues, I think, on a lot of students' minds, especially with what happened recently.
Griffin urges his fellow students to do one thing: reach out to your representatives.
The only way to stop them from keep coming is telling your legislators this is enough.
Reporting in Norman, Kaylee Fan, OU Nightly.
The two bills are still a few steps away from being voted on in the Senate. If they make it past their floor, they'll still need approval from the House and governor to become law.
After the break, Jill Biden gives us a hint about the future of her husband's presidency.
Stick around to hear how the 2024 election might be impacted. And new evidence is released in the Alex Murdaugh case.
Details on another emotional day of cross-examining are up next.
Did you know that about 23% of Oklahoma's river and stream miles are impaired by bacteria? Pet waste can pollute surface and drinking waters like Lake Thunderbird by contributing harmful levels of bacteria. Be sure to pick up after your furry friend when you're out and about. We drink our stormwater, so please do your part to help protect it. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Some news about the future of the White House is overshadowing the First Lady's trip to Africa. Victoria Anderson has more on that and the rest of today's headlines from the News Center.
The First Lady is teasing a big announcement from the White House today. Dr. Biden said, quote, "There is pretty much nothing left to do but schedule a time and place for her husband's re-election announcement." Aides have reported the announcement should come around April, though many fear the president's 41% approval rating is not enough for a second term. And today marks the one-year anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukrainian territory. Amid a day of memorials and reflections, President Zelensky remarked, "Every tomorrow is worth fighting for." With the death toll rising and the Russian offense increasing, the country calls for Russia to cease its bombing campaigns. Disgraced attorney Alex Murdaugh returns to the hot seat today on trial for the double homicide of his wife and son, blaming his lies regarding his whereabouts that June day on a paranoia from pills and a distrust of police, pointing to the possible involvement of a random vigilante seeking revenge for Murdaugh's son's involvement in a 2019 boating accident. And the Federal Reserve's inflation gauge has recorded an increase in prices this month, which could lead to interest rates increasing. Pepper, Morgan.
Thanks, Victoria. Coming up, some of Norman's senior citizens are getting active.
Hear more about how the Norman Wellness Center has the community moving. And some severe weather could impact your plans this weekend.
Meteorologist Peyton Gallian has the full forecast coming up next. Peyton, what should we expect from these storms?
Well, right now it's cloudy, and that's really going to be the big case all this weekend, tomorrow and going into Sunday when we have that severe weather threat. I'll time it out after the break.
Things like grass clippings and leaves can contribute harmful levels of nutrients into our surface and drinking water. We must improve water quality at Lake Thunderbird, our main drinking water source, which begins with taking care of our stormwater. Bag your clippings when mowing, or leave them to break down and nourish your lawn. We drink our stormwater, so don't blow it by leaving your grass clippings in the street. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Back to OU Nightly and taking a look outside at the South Oval. It is a very cloudy day, but we have broken that freezing mark. It is 32 degrees here in Norman. Very cloudy skies. Winds are very calm, just barely under 10 miles an hour across the rest of the metro. You can see Oklahoma City's below freezing. Everyone's just kind of hovering around low 30s, upper 20s, and for the rest of the state, everyone's pretty much in the same case except eastern Oklahoma. They're in the 40s. Guymon in the 40s as well. So tomorrow, I want you to enjoy your day. There's going to be a few scattered showers throughout the afternoon hours because Sunday we have that severe weather threat. I'm going to tell you about that coming up. But winds are going to be relatively light. We're going to climb into the 40s tomorrow, so we're going to slowly warm up before this big severe weather event on Sunday. You can see Norman, Oklahoma City, Edmond, Enid included in this enhanced risk for severe weather. That is level 3 out of 5 ranking. The rest of the state of Oklahoma is in a slight risk of severe weather, a 2 out of 5 ranking. So this is the first major severe weather event of the season. Very early for it to be in February, but tornadoes are going to be very brief and spin up. If we do find some, they're going to be at a medium level. Wind really going to be the biggest threat with how fast these tornadoes are moving. Hail is going to be a very kind of low threat and isolated threat in areas, and we're not going to have to worry about any of that flooding, like I said, because these storms are going to be moving incredibly fast across the state of Oklahoma. And this threat is fueled by all this Gulf moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico across the state of Texas, right here into the state of Oklahoma, giving this severe setup that storm energy we need to make that dry line to push across the state of Oklahoma. So to time that out for you on your Sunday, you can see we're clear tonight. Saturday, you have that few pop-up showers as you go throughout your day, a little bit heavier in Tulsa. But Sunday, 5 p.m., you can see western Oklahoma kind of on the border with the Texas Panhandle. These storms are starting to fire up, and just how quickly they gain intensity across the state. Between 8 and 9 o'clock here in Norman, Oklahoma City, just past Enid, in Stillwater, just the pinks, the reds, these storms are strong. That is when we can worry about that hail threat. So these are going to continue across eastern Oklahoma. They're going to be out of the state by midnight. That's just how fast these storms are moving out into Arkansas. So like I said, that flooding threat is very low. But with that tornado threat, we need to know the difference of a watch and a warning. So just some quick fun facts for y'all to know, tell the difference between a watch and a warning. You need to have a plan if one's coming or not. And you need to closely monitor all the weather conditions across your area. And you also need to know where that safe place is. If you have a basement, you're going to want to go to the lowest level interior room of your home. If you don't have a basement, you want to go to the most interior room of your home. That can be a closet, that can be a pantry, anything, a bathroom. You can see on our model right there in the very middle of that home. And we want you to be safe this whole time. Multiple ways to get your warnings. Be prepared, because for the rest of the week, we're back into the 70s, 60s, 50s, above average temperatures before this weird setup this weekend. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Peyton. I know I will definitely be staying weather aware this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure my phone notifications are on so I know the latest.
Absolutely. Well, if you're looking for a fun and free way to stay active, the Well in Norman is hosting Tai Chi classes every Friday at 9 a.m.
Studies show that the practice can actually improve your sleep quality and reduce depression. Instructors are inviting the community to Anderson Park on April 29th for National Tai Chi Day.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. Stick around. Big Friday Sports is next with an exclusive interview with women basketball Ana Yanusa.
Plus, Kinsey has an update on the future of a player on the men's basketball team.
Well, Pepper, Morgan, there's been a few changes with the OU men's basketball team. Stay tuned to hear the updates of a Sooner player's future when we come back. You won't want to miss it.
In Midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Brig Bates.
And I'm Kenzie Eiserman, and welcome to Big Friday Sports.
We have a busy show today, so let's get started. Kinsey, want to take it to the hardwood first?
Well, the Red River Women's Basketball Showdown is taking place at the LNC on Saturday at 1 p.m. If that's not exciting enough, the Longhorns and the Sooners are currently tied for first in the Big 12 standings. This game will determine who really is number one. Here's what Ana Yanusa why she wants Sooner fans at the game.
Being as good as we are, I think we deserve a big crowd, and we would really appreciate a big crowd. But I think we're all just excited for just to get to play another game together. We're really staying in the moment and staying where our feet are and staying steady. And obviously this game is a big game, not just because of the standings, but just of who it is. It's a rival game, so it makes it 10 times more better.
Our very own Tyler DeLuca sat down with OU senior guard Ana Yanusa for an exclusive interview to discuss the Red River rivalry, her Sooner career, and more.
Tyler DeLuca here, and I am joined by Oklahoma Sooner Ana Yanusa. Ana, thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So let's kind of just get straight into it. Just kind of generally this season, where do you feel like the team is at right now? What type of improvements do you feel like are still left to be made going into postseason play?
I think we're in a really great spot right now. I think we've been growing each and every day, and I think everybody's bought into what we're doing, and I think that's the most important thing as of right now is to be bought in, because you'll find some teams that are not fully bought into each other or bought into what the coaches are doing, and I think our leadership and just the younger teammates that we have that are looking up to us and following what we're doing, I think we're in a great spot.
So now, obviously, that 6 years is coming to an end soon. Senior night, when you're kind of looking ahead to that, what emotions are you kind of expecting to feel when that day comes for senior night?
I would just say a lot of gratitude, and I'm just grateful that I've gotten to be here. Not a lot of people get to say they played or been in college on a basketball team for 6 years, and like I said, the opportunities that have come with it, the opportunity to play for 2 different coaches, the things I learned from Coach Cole and the things that I'm learning now from Jenny are just 2 very different things that were very beneficial for me in my life, and I'm just grateful that I even got the chance to experience all of it.
I feel like OU Texas is one of the ones, like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you
yeah,
don't. You know,
if you get it, you get it, you don't.
We're both from Oklahoma. As
sure.
an Oklahoma native, when you hear OU Texas, what kind of emotions does that bring up? What kind of feelings does that bring up, knowing that you're representing Oklahoma going against Texas?
Right. It makes you like want to play with a chip on your shoulder. You want to play like 10 times bigger than you actually are. Like, I'm 5'11", and it makes me want to play like I'm 6'3". Like, it just makes you want to be so much bigger and stronger that day, and meaner. Like, it brings an aggression out of you, and it's just fun. I'm sure it's fun for them too. It's just a fun game, especially if you're from Oklahoma and you know what it means. I mean, T-Rob's grown up an OU fan, so she kind of really knows what that means too. So.
Now, will the OU men's basketball team be able to break their streak of 7 straight losses on the road when they face Iowa State on Saturday at 11 a.m.? Both teams are coming off tough conference losses, so the Sooners and Cyclones will be looking for redemption. OU head coach Porter Moser explains why one win could change everything.
You want your program to be, and it just a win streak starts with 1. You know, what's the max amount of Big 12 games you could have? 7. All right, that's opportunity. That's life. That's why you gotta be looking at it like that, and it starts with 1.
Sooners men's basketball guard Bijan Cortez recently announced on Twitter that he's stepping away from basketball due to personal reasons. Sooners fans were doubting his return, but Bijan appeared to confirm that he would return to the team on Twitter today.
Springing onto the mat, the #1 OU women's gymnastics team is meeting with West Virginia today at 6:45 p.m. The Sooners are vaulting into their 2-week home stretch starting this meet. Can the ladies keep their streak of 66 consecutive wins in the LNC?
Football is right around the corner, and the Sooners are preparing for their annual spring game, which they sold out last year. OU head coach Brent Venables was more than excited to announce when fans need to show up.
All right, when you're ready, Coach.
I'm looking here.
Yes.
All right, Sooner Nation, we are 2 months away from this year's spring game, and we can't wait to pack the Palace again. We need this place to be loud and electric, so we're counting on everybody to do their part. Start making your tailgating plans now. This year's kickoff will be at 11 a.m. Can't wait to see everybody again.
Coach.
What?
It's at 2:30.
This year's kickoff will be at 11 a.m. Hey man, I'm so used to 11 a.m. kickoffs around here. This year's kickoff will be at 2. I'll do that again. This year's kickoff will be at 11. Start making your tailgating plans now. This year's kickoff will be at 2:30 p.m. Can't wait to see everybody there. Boomer.
This weekend, USA Gymnastics Winter Cup is being held at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. The Winter Cup is a qualifying event for the 2023 U.S. Gymnastics Championship.
And Brig, I'm not sure if you've heard this yet, but there are a total of 9, you heard me right, 9 current, former, and future Sooners qualified to compete at the 2023 Winter Cup. The 2-time defending national champion OU softball team heads to California for the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic.
Coming off their first loss of the season to Baylor, OU has their hands full playing 5 games in just 3 days starting today. And it's a chilly one at L. Dale Mitchell Park today as the Sooners hit the diamond to face the Rider Broncs in the first game of the weekend series.
The Sooners are 2-3 through the 5 games to start the year, but have a chance to gallop past the Broncos today at home.
And it might not be March yet, but Oklahoma's high school basketball playoffs are here.
We talk exclusively with a local high school looking to make a postseason run. Be sure to tune in next on Big Friday Sports.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that about 23% of Oklahoma's river and stream miles are impaired by bacteria? Pet waste can pollute surface and drinking waters like Lake Thunderbird by contributing harmful levels of bacteria. Be sure to pick up after your furry friend when you're out and about. We drink our stormwater, so please do your part to help protect it. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Big Friday sports, and if you are heading out to Airedale Mitchell Park either tonight or tomorrow, even on Sunday, to watch the OU baseball team take on Rider, temperatures on Sunday or tonight are going to drip down below freezing, 29 degrees, going to warm up on Saturday into the 40s, and on Sunday at 62 degrees. Now the game is going to be before that severe weather threat on Sunday, so the game won't be rained out, so you can head out there before that rain comes in tonight or on Sunday night. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Peyton. The Norman North men's basketball team tips off postseason play tonight against Northwest Classen at Norman High. I sat down with Timberwolves head coach Kellen McCoy for an exclusive Ballin' with Brig interview as they jump into playoffs tonight at 6 p.m.
We were able to finish 8-2 our last 10 games and beat some good teams, and so I love where we're at right now going into the playoffs. I think we've earned a lot of respect when we didn't really have a ton of respect earlier on in the season.
The Norman North Timberwolves only won 3 of their first 10 games, but Coach McCoy is proud of how his team has responded to adversity early in the season and flipping the switch at the right time.
And these guys have never given up for 1 second. They've continued to come back and show up and work harder and harder and harder. And I'm glad that they're reaping the benefits of it now and starting to see the success of the work that they put in. And I think that we've got an opportunity to go pretty far in the playoffs, and so I'm excited for them. But this group is special. They're special. They're resilient. They fought through a lot of adversity, and they prevailed.
You know, Kinsey, this is not the only Norman team heading to playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. I'm excited to see both Norman North and Norman High compete at the playoffs. But the OKC Thunder traveled to Utah to take on the Jazz on Thursday night.
The Thunder took the lead at half and led heading into the fourth quarter, but the Jazz outscored the Thunder 28-20 to send it to overtime.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 39 points, but it wasn't enough as the Thunder lost 120-119.
And our play of the day comes from Thursday night as Dennis Schroeder lobs it to 38-year-old LeBron James, who hammers it home with a monster one-handed dunk.
Brig, LeBron's been in the league for a long time, and I've got one big question that no one probably has the answer to, but how are his knees still doing that?
All I can say is he's aging like a bottle of fine wine.
Is there a game this weekend that you're looking forward to?
My most important game's got to be the Red River rivalry, OU versus Texas. This is an important game for the #1 seed in the Big 12 for women's hoops. I think the Sooners got a chance to make their statement.
No, I agree. I know their last match with Texas wasn't the Sooners' idea of a perfect outcome, but I think the Sooners got it this time, and I'm excited to hopefully see them be #1 in the seed. But thank you for watching Big Friday Sports.
Be sure to tune in to all Sooner sports this weekend.
See you right here next week for all things sports.
Good night.
Prepared as your family. if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood,